Howdy folks, I'm Kel Kellogg and it is time for your Collins Lake Fishing Report. And full transparency, I haven't actually been at the lake. For the last several days, nearly a week, I've been up vacationing at Fort Bragg, but I have been in contact with my boys at the lake, and I can tell you the fishing is absolutely excellent for a mix of rainbows and lightning trout. Trout ranging all the way up to 8 pounds. They've dropped a bit in the water column. My buddy John is up there, who, by the way, is my connection. He's part of a butcher shop in San Francisco, but he's been spending a lot of time up at the lake. His boat's up there, and as you can see from these pictures, his boys are doing real well out there. He told me the fish are from 22 to 27 feet deep. He's running a variety of offerings. I will start fishing up there again in a matter of a few days. I am going to be running spoons, soft plastics, and threaded crawlers. I'm going to start out with pink stuff because when I left the lake, the pink stuff was working, but I'm not totally tied to that. This is the time of the year when you can typically start to speed up, when a spoon bite intensifies. So I'm going to play around with the bite a little bit, but fingers crossed, I'm going to be pulling spoons down there in that 20 to 30 foot range. That's it for now. Been doing a few chores here around the house. I built a cool rolling rack for my kayaks. I am now offering Collins Lake trolling trips. I am offering kayak trips in the Sierras. I provide everything, including Hobie pedal kayaks. So if you're interested in getting out on the water with me at Collins Lake or at a Sierra destination via kayak, give me a call. 530-320-0368. And I gotta warn you, if you go kayak fishing with me and you don't already have a kayak, you're probably gonna go buy a kayak because it is a fantastic way to chase trout, chase salmon, and just have a great time out on the water. I'm Kel Kellogg. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. You'll be helping us out, and you'll always know when I'm here on the Catch America YouTube channel talking about fishing.
Hey guys, Captain Nate checking in with your weekly fishing report for Catch America for the week of May 27th. Guys, Lake Berryessa is on fire. We have been smashing fish. Today I was out. I had a console trip on a client's boat. They wanted to go out, kind of learn all the ins and outs of the downriggers or release clips, trolling speeds, everything else, whatnot, all the electronics. We dialed everything in for them, and then we dropped some lines in the water. We ended up with limits of kokanee. We got trout. We got crappie by 10 a.m. Just unbelievable fishing, guys. We've been going out, knocking out limits of kokanee, limits of kings, limits of trout. We're catching crappie, bass, catfish. If you name it, we can put you on it. This bite out here is phenomenal. We're using the Catch America Dodgers paired with T-Pexes. They're all available in my package. We're also using the Chrome Killer corn. The recipe for that, guys, I'm only going to give it to you on this on the weekly fishing report. We're using the oil out of 1 can of tuna. We're using 1.5 tablespoons of Chrome Killer and 1 tablespoon of the Potskies Fire Dye. I like orange. Pick whatever color you like. Orange is my color, so that's what we're using. We're knocking fish dead on it. We're catching everything. Everything in the lake is eating it, just like they were when we were putting the Chrome Killer on the spoons. It's working really good in the corn. It's working fantastic in the corn. I mean, I haven't seen another boat pulling limits out, and we've had limits every single day since we started last Monday. It's just spectacular fishing. The fish are anywhere from 20 down to 70 feet. Make sure you have good electronics. Trust your graph now. Chase those marks. The marks are biting. On to another lake. We're going to do Lake Camanche and Lake Pardee. Lake Camanche, surprisingly, has picked up. You're really having to cast a long ways. You're having to use long rods, almost like surf rods, to bomb it out and get out into that deeper water. Long leaders, guys. We're talking 5 to 8 foot leaders. So you definitely have to use those long rods to bomb it out from the shore, as boats still aren't allowed. It's going to be a while. It's just the way it is, guys. Let's just deal with it. Go out there and catch some fish. Power bait is your only choice right now. Seems like there aren't too many fish coming up near the shore. The plants are starting to slow down. So but the lake is full. The lake is full of fish. So don't worry about the trout plants now. Worry about using a long rod and a long leader and bombing it out to get it out there to where the fish are actually at in that cooler water. Pardee, I haven't heard much about, just to be honest with you. I'm sure that that Launch Cove, the water's pretty warm now, which is going to make things really difficult if they're not planting. Make sure you give them a call, see if they planted fish, see if they're planning on planting fish, and then plan accordingly to when they're going to plant. And that's going to be your best opportunity. Lake Amador, fish have dropped between 20 and 35 feet. Still catching them, still catching some nice big fish. Trolling your trigger spoon juniors. All the fast presentations are working good. Make sure you use that chrome killer scent on them. Give yourself a good chance going out there and getting at some fish. I know the pressure kind of backed off out there, which is nice because there's other lakes around that are fishing good. So you've got a lot of choices right now, guys, for trout, for kokanee, for king salmon. Bass fishing is great. Catfishing is great. Get off the couch, get out there on the water, and go catch some fish. This is a great time of year to be out there. We're not to the 100-degree weather yet, so you've got to take advantage while you can. And other than that, that's going to wrap up my report for this week. Make sure to give us a like, subscribe here on Catch America on YouTube. Check me out at Big Nate's Guide Service on Facebook, Instagram, my website. We're booking into July, and we only have about 10 days left in July, and then we're looking at August. August is starting to fill as well. Fishing's phenomenal. We've been red hot for months and months and months for all species. Give us a ring, and we'll get you on some fish. Other than that, everyone have a blessed day, and we'll talk with you next week.
Morning, everybody. Captain Brian Rakucci with Big Daddy's Guide Service, and this will be your Catch America Lake Almanor fishing report. Over the course of the last week, the weather's kind of stabilized, and so has the bite. A much more consistent bite this week than we had last week. Still lots of options, whether you want to go fast or go slow. Both methods of trolling are working quite well right now. Just a week ago, we were dealing with high wind warnings and some unstable weather conditions. That's given way throughout the week into the holiday weekend with mostly sunny skies, flat waters, light breezes. That's given us a chance to sort of branch out and fish some other areas of the lake. We've been catching a lot of different species out here. Everything from browns to rainbows, a few king salmon, a few catfish. It's a little bit of everything, dealer's choice right now. The last few days have been a lot of fun out here with the high-speed trolling techniques, the optimizer juniors, the trigger spoons. Not fishing down very deep. We're running mostly 15 to 25 feet down, but a lot of hot action on some feisty rainbows. About half the fish are going airborne on hookup. Few browns in the mix, but it's been a pretty fast-paced bite here the last few mornings. The water conditions here on Almanor look great. The lake's sitting about 2 feet from full right now. Visibility is improving every day and is now what I would call good visibility throughout the lake. We don't see any of the muddy runoff flows that we've seen in the past. And running the spoons at a fast pace, somewhere between 2 3/4 and 3.5 miles an hour, it allows us to cover a lot of water, put those baits in front of a lot of fish. Also, we've got an increase in boat traffic here on the lake, as most lakes do this holiday weekend. It allows me to sort of branch out, get away, cover some water that the other boats aren't in, and the results have been fantastic, Kind of a wide variety, everything from the darker color spoons, the blue and silvers, all the way to the bright oranges and coppers have been working. We're setting them up with Browntown scent. Turns out the rainbows like the Browntown as well, so we're seeing, like I said earlier, a few browns in the mix, mostly a rainbow bite right now. But the fast-paced action, it's one you don't want to miss. Well, the weatherman's telling us we're going to have another week of fairly stable weather and a slight warming trend. That's going to keep these aquatic bug hatches just going off at various areas all over the lake. That keeps the fish ramped up into spring feed mode. And we're looking forward to another exciting week of fishing here on Lake Almanor. For more information about what we're doing here at Almanor or the other lakes I fish, you can find that information at BigDaddyFishing.com. Or check us out on social media at Big Daddy's Guide Service. Tight lines, everybody.
Hey, good morning. This is Kevin Brock with the Catch America report for May 27th. So let's see. So last week, where have I been? I've been 4 different places. Today we fished the Sacramento River in Redding for trout. Water's beautiful. Pulling out right there, you can kind of see it. If you like wild rainbow trout, it's amazing. Check out the video and some of the pictures we send you. Yeah, fantastic fishing. Fishing small little orange soft beads is the ticket. Remember, up here is barbless and catch and release. I think we landed almost 30 fish, landed 27 fish, hooked probably 35 fish or so today. Yeah, wild rainbow trout hooked. You'll see them, how beautiful and gorgeous they are. We've still been striper fishing, catching limits of stripers. Having to work a little harder for them, but some days we just drop right on a pile of them and catch them too. That fishing has been minnows. Water clarity is clear. The weather outside is, mid-70s. It's just a fantastic time to go. Where else have we been? We've been Whiskeytown Lake. We're limits for everybody, hooking 35 to 40 fish a day over there. I use a 6-inch flasher called a Kokanee Crush, and then I use a cocoa spin. Seemed like the hot pink and orange were best early in the morning. The light pink after the sun got up really went good. Where else? I've been, so we've been 4 different places in 1 week, but fishing every day. Shad fishing below Princeton has been lights out on the Sacramento River. The water's been coming up. The green with sparkle in it, with red, a nice dark red head. A little bit of split shot on there. Evening time's been 30 to 50 fish in the evening. So if you're shad fishing anywhere from Calusa up to Princeton and even higher, the guys have been coming in and saying they're catching them higher. I'm hearing reports all over. So, and the water color over there is, what we'd say, not clear, but not murky either. Definitely fishable. So, man, I mean, everywhere is fishing. If you just like to fish, it's time to get out and fish. Thank you for watching all the Catch America stuff. Click like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Some of the stuff they sell that we use, you can check that out at Fish America, or you can check it out at fishkevinbrock.com if you want to book a trip or coming out and hang out with us or something like that. Again, we thank you very much. God bless, and keep fishing.
Hey guys, welcome to Catch America. I'm Brett Brady with Bare Bones Guide Service. Hey, this last week, guys, I've spent some time on 2 reservoirs. One, Stampede Reservoir up outside Truckee, and the other, Bullards Bar Reservoir, which is right behind me right here. Both are notorious for kokanee trout fishing. So June and July are the months to hit those 2 lakes. We still are seeing a little bit of trout on both, but I see that diminishing here as daytime temperatures warm up and those lakes temperatures start warming up as well. We start losing the runoff coming in from the snow melt as well. Those fish are got to start seeking out deeper, colder water, get a little trickier to fish for. But the kokanee bites just got to get stronger and stronger at both locations. So the Stampede bite was pretty good up the little Truckee arm. Fish were running about 25 to 35 feet deep. They like the pink, orange, and purple colorings. So Uncle Larry lures, the T-peg, we're all working real well up there. Down here at Bullards, the fish are a little bit bigger. They're running about 10 to 12 inches. A little more scattered out though. We're finding fish kind of all over the place. No rhyme or reason to it. But we'll see those fish start gathering up and schooling up a lot tighter in the next couple of weeks. So it'll make it a little easier target. They'll get in their more traditional areas. We have had some really great trout fishing though. The trout fishing has been really good. See that for just a little bit longer too, as we're going to see that diminish as well. But we got some neat video of some trout fishing that we were doing here earlier in the week. So that's got to be it for me for this week. Stay tuned for next week. We'll bring you up to date on what it is we're doing. All right, until next time.
Hi, this is Captain Monty Smith, Gold Country Sport Fishing, here for your Catch America weekly Don Pedro fishing report. Just got off the water a little bit ago and had a couple of guys out. Don Pedro did excellent, very, very good. We had 10 rainbows and 5 salmon. Couldn't keep the salmon on today for very long. And once we got to our 10 fish limit on the rainbows, we started throwing them back. So it was a great day. Getting a nice mixture of kokanee and kings now. Kings are really good shape. And The Kokanee are really pretty plump. They're not huge, they're anywhere from 14 to 15 inches. Rainbows are from 1.5 pounds to over 3 pounds, catching some dandies. And the crazy thing is the water temperature on the surface is 70 degrees, but down about 45, 50 feet is where the temperature break really starts to change. So we've been fishing from 50 to 75, almost 80 feet. And these fish are all mixed in at the same depths. So when we're seeing a lot of fish on the live scope today in schools, so pretty assuming that's Kokanee down there, because we would get bit, but we wasn't landing them all. The water level is, they're probably about 10 feet to go. Blue Oaks launch ramp is closed, so you have to go to either Moccasin or Fleming Meadow. Water clarity is still excellent. We can still see 12, 13 feet down, and the lake's in great shape. Great shape. Not many fishermen out, a lot of bass guys out, but we took off Memorial Day weekend. We don't generally fish holidays just due to the fact that the boat ramps are crazy and there's so many people out there that we really is not going to get a good quality trip. So today we were running Uncle Larry's spinners. We ran them in purple. We ran Catch America's T-Pexes. Everything was in pink and purples. We ran some other colors that would get hit, some pinks, but mostly the purples. And we were fishing 50 to 75, like I said, and didn't mark anything really much deeper than that, but that's where the good temperature is. And so if you'd like to book a trip with me, give me a call or text 209-581-4734, or get a hold of me on the web at goldcountrysportfishing.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe on Catch America's YouTube. It's a great channel. Always coming up with something new out there for everyone. And hope to see you guys this next week. And thank you. And I'm Captain Monty Smith, Gold Country Sport Fishing. And Catch America. Until next week. Bye. Hey guys, welcome to Catch America Fishing Channel. I'm Captain Jeff Goodwin of Jeff Goodwin's Guide Service with the fishing report for Shasta Lake for the week of May 27th. We've been fishing Shasta Lake for the most part, and I'm here to report that the fishing has been very, very good for Kokanee salmon. We've also been targeting king salmon, and the king salmon is fair to good depending on the bite given each day. Rainbow trout and brown trout is still a little bit on the slow side, but that's about to change here real soon. We finally hit 70-degree water on the surface this week, so we're going to start to develop a warm water layer on the surface, which is going to begin to push those fish down a little bit deeper, the shad a little bit deeper and concentrated, which is going to create a nice little seam for all of our predator fish to feed on the shad. Makes the bite considerably better when that happens. We've been fishing Kokanee in the 35 to 40 foot range, and the kings 55 to 65 feet. Although today we did drop down to 90 feet and picked up one of our nicer kings of the day. Not much else to look forward to on any of the other lakes right now. Whiskeytown is slow. Trinity Lake is a little bit slow as well. They usually lag behind Shasta Lake as far as the warm-up goes. So had a great Memorial Day weekend out here. Things have settled down considerably, and we got lots of availability for anyone who wants to come out and fish with us for Kokanee salmon, king salmon, rainbow trout, and brown trout. Give Janie a call, 530-510-2925. If you're interested in one of these trips, she'll set you up. Or you can just browse our social media platforms at Instagram, Jeff Goodwin Guide Services, or Facebook, Jeff Goodwin Guide Services. Lastly, we do have a website, and you can visit that at jeffgoodwinfishing.com to fill in any blanks. Anyways, that's it for this week. Have a great week, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.
Hi everyone, Captain Wes Hoskin here with your weekly fishing report. It's May 27th. We just finished up a really nice Memorial Day weekend. Obviously, the main thing of Memorial Day weekend is not getting an extra day off of work, but it's honoring the people that have fallen and who have served our country. And without them, we wouldn't be able to enjoy the freedoms we have. So that's the first thing I'd like to address. Second thing was, I don't know if it was my boat because it's wrapped with an American flag. The fish were really good for us this week. The fishing was phenomenal on both Upper Twin Lakes and Bridgeport Reservoir. Give you updates. Bridgeport Reservoir, the troll bites doing really well right now. The guys on bait are doing well, just as well, but I think the trolling bite's a little bit better. The number one thing that we're using out here on Bridgeport Reservoir is right here, the Frankenstein trigger spoon. It's been phenomenal all week. We're getting rainbows, browns. You know, we could have limits in the boat every day, but we've been catching and release all week. So Bridgeport Reservoir is going to start to turn a little bit. We're getting a lot of algae in the water. You'll be able to see it on some of the footage. I imagine about 3 weeks or so, we're going to have the algae bloom and the weed growth, and the trolling bite's going to die off, and you're going to have to switch to bait fishing. Okay, so we also fished Upper Twin Lakes this week. It was a very good trout bite on the troll. We didn't get any browns up there, but we were getting a lot of quality rainbows. We were primarily using the Trout Tricks worm in the bubblegum color with a action disc in front of it. We also were using the trigger spoon gold colored. Those were the two lures that were getting the most action on that lake. We also did a little bit of kokanee fishing. We caught about a dozen kokanee in about an hour and a half. It was a really good bite, but unfortunately they were all around 8 inches in length. We weren't able to find any good keeper kokanee, so we stopped fishing for them. I'm not sure the reason for that this year. Normally this time we're getting, 10-inch to 11-inch kokanee, which is not a big kokanee, but that's what we have out of these lakes. So I'm not sure what the kokanee season is going to look like on Upper Twin Lakes. We didn't get any browns up there, primarily because the bait fishermen came in for the holiday weekend, and they're sitting on anchor in a lot of the spots that we troll, so it made it real difficult on the troll. But these lakes are going to start to change, especially Bridgeport Reservoir, Crowley Lake. The algae bloom's going to go off, the weed growth's going to go up. It's really going to change the style of fishing. You're not going to be able to troll, be able to keep your gear clean. So just be aware of that. You got probably 2-3 more weeks on Bridgeport and Crowley before you're not going to be able to troll these lakes. Some of the higher altitude lakes like Upper Twin, Lower Twin, they're good to troll all year. Same with June Lake Loop. June Lake Loop fished really well this week. People were catching fish, throwing lures, trolling, and also bait fishing. So don't forget to like and subscribe to Catch America to get your latest fishing reports on the Eastern Sierra and also the new gear and tactics that we're using. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the water.
Hello, this is Roger George of Roger George Guide Service. I'm here to do the weekly report for San Luis Reservoir for Catch America. This week is May 27th. Anyhow, we've had a lot of changing conditions over there at the lake right now. We have falling water that's falling over a foot a day. Right now, in the last month, it's fallen over 30 feet in that period of time, which is quite a bit. We're hoping that it's going to reach an equilibrium here fairly soon. The other thing that's happening over there is that the algae is growing like crazy with these higher temperatures that we have. And we have a roller coaster of high temperatures and lower, but it's all kind of trending up, and the water temperatures are coming up in the 70s. And so that is starting to change everything for the algae, and the blue-green algae is certainly taking off right now and is going to continue for the rest of the summer. And, just to let you know, a lot of people are really concerned about it, that it's harmful to people. But in checking with the lake and the superintendent, and they have people actually check the water, it's actually not harmful to people. It's actually, according to the research, it's harmful possibly to dogs and possibly to animals like deer. But actually, all the animals around the lake drink it. That's all they live on. And we don't see any dead animals. So I think that the blue-green algae, unless you're going to jump in it and drink it and maybe water ski in it and something, I'd probably avoid those things. But anyhow, the algae is starting to become a bigger factor, and that's going to lead us into the summertime where we're going to start getting some really heavy algae on the top of the water. So cleaning your boat off is going to be important the minute you get out of the water, because that stuff can absorb into fiberglass and you don't want that to happen. So wiping it off quickly can help it not happen, or having a spray of some type for your boat that actually keeps it from absorbing into your fiberglass before it before drying off. Those things can be important. The other thing is that watching the wind right now. We're in May, and the June period, these are times when the wind is really a big factor. And the wind that you want to watch out for in this lake is the wind coming from the northwest, west-northwest, coming from Dinosaur Point, going towards the dam, going east. That one is the one you want to watch out for. You want to have your head in the swivel. Make sure that if you're looking, look back to the winds that are coming from the west, because they can come up very quickly, and those are the dangerous ones. And in that case, you don't want to be too far east into the lake over near the dam, because then you got to fight those waves all the way back. And so I suggest that you don't get over there. And even with an 18-foot boat, higher sides and all that, it can be very challenging to get back into that area. As far as fishing goes right now, after all that, the fishing between windstorms and between these high-low pressure that we're having coming through, the fishing has been decent. That's just about it. The fish are moving with this water falling. The fish are obviously reestablished themselves and moving from shallow out to deeper a little bit, because usually they're a little bit spooky when it comes to falling water, just like it is, like all fish are. So you want to be aware of that, but yet covering ground right now may be the most important thing to do. Minnows, if you find some fish, great, they can work, but I think that covering ground like trolling, flatlining, or I would suggest trolling with downriggers and getting down into the 50, 60, 70, maybe even 80-foot range with downriggers. And you can use either minnow lures, or you can use the diving type lures, and all of your regular things, Smithwicks, Rapala, Lucky Craft, all of those are lures that are tried and true and work. And I was suggesting to you that run your lures about probably 100, 120 feet behind the boat, and I find that 2 miles an hour is probably just about the mid-level trolling speed that seems to work the best. So that's what I would suggest to you and trying it. But you can also use jigs, and you can also use things like small spoons, dust spoons, stuff like that. And right now, the colors red, yellow, those kind of colors are not bad colors in this algae to have on. So you might want to look at adding that to your repertoire. And also fishing the shore, casting in with rip baits, small rip baits. Lucky Craft, once again, has a lot of good ones. Those can be good ways to go. Or with paddle tails, throwing those in with small jig heads on them. Those can all be good earlier in the day. During the middle of the day when it gets hot, I think those fish are going to move down. So the fish right now are still in the spawn phase. The moon has passed us, but the spawning situation still goes on. We have a lot of fish that are milting that we're bringing in, and so that's been hard. But that affects the fishing, because the fish can be obviously very preoccupied with the spawning behavior. So I would suggest to you that moving and covering ground may be one of the best things that you can do. I find the main lake has the clearer water. Portuguese Cove, the water is off color a little bit, maybe from the algae. So you might want to look at getting out in the main lake and trying that out and see if you can find some fish off of some of the points or coves, any of those types of things. And obviously new structure is showing up with the water falling as quickly as it is. I would rate the fishing right now about a 3 out of 10. But the size of the fish, we've been doing okay. We had fish up to 13 pounds last week, but we had to put in a lot of work to find those fish. So if you're going to go over there, you might want to look at really being aware that it could be challenging for quite a while. Anyhow, that's my report for this week. If you're interested, give me a call. I'm guiding about 2 or 3 times a week over there is about it between the windstorms. Also, hit subscribe, like here for the video, and I think you can see my information if you're interested in getting a hold of me. That would be great. And anyhow, so that's my report for San Luis for the week. And with that, I'd like to leave you with my last thought. Never give up.